ठीक है, होना तो चाहिए था क्योंकि हालात काफी ज्यादा खराब थे, लेकिन मतलब उसके नेगेटिव असरात लोगों पे, पब्लिक पे बहुत ज्यादा हो रहे हैं। मतलब एक तो तासुब बड़ा है, वो लोग कह रहे हैं कि जी ये पंजाबी गवर्नमेंट है चूंकि, तो पंजाब के लोग हैं और मतलब वो दूसरे लोगों के साथ थोड़ा सा तासुब पैदा हो गया।
बलूचिस्तान में नारा लग चुका है ग्रेटर बलूचिस्तान का, वो आज़ादी की तहरीक वहाँ चला रहे हो, तो ये जनरल्स का ही कसूर है। और अब जनरल्स के हाथों से मुल्क निकल रहा है, जैसे कि पहले ईस्ट पाकिस्तान निकल गया था और अब दोबारा निकल रहा है, तो अब वो दोबारा पॉलिटिशियंस के हवाले मुल्क कर रहे हैं और ब्लेम जो है वो पॉलिटिशियंस को जाएगा कि अगर खुदा न खास्ता बलूचिस्तान का हिस्सा चला गया।
कमिश्नर साहब का एक बयान था कि हमारे पास ताकत है, हम ताकत के बलबूते पर इनको दबा लेंगे, मैं चंद बार मुट्ठी भरों के साथ जो है ना कमिटमेंट नहीं करूंगा, इट्स इम्पॉसिबल।
तो ये नामुमकिन है कि मेरे सरदारों के साथ कमिटमेंट कर लेनी चाहिए। नो, नॉट एट ऑल। जितना कुछ भी वहाँ पे वेपन यूज हो रहा है या हेलीकॉप्टर्स यूज हो रहे हैं, दे आर जस्ट टू रिमूव द हर्डल्स। ओके, जो वहाँ पे हर्डल्स हैं ना, जब तक वो रिमूव नहीं होंगी तो आपकी जो सारी पॉलिसीज हैं वो कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट होंगी।
सो ऑल द किलिंग एंड द डेथ्स दैट टुक प्लेस इज बिकॉज ऑफ हिम, एंड ही डिड नॉट वांट एनी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, एंड ही सेड until they do not give me the terrorists, I'm not willing to speak. Now, how can you just say that I'm going to keep on firing with my bullets and beating with my rod, and I'm not willing to listen? Your own people, you're not willing to listen?
The only thing which should stop action from both the sides is that you open dialogue and you stop killing people. Only then one can find some solution. Otherwise, things are going to go out of the country.
And it is not just the opposition, but there are many within the government who strongly oppose the crackdown on Balochistan. A government-sponsored parliamentary committee report last year called for an immediate political solution. Nothing came of that. In January, the coalition partner, the NQM, announced that they would quit the coalition government if military action in Balochistan is not stopped.
There could be some serious things happening in Balochistan, so we asked the government that if the Kalabagh Dam, which was the core issue at that time, and the provincial autonomy and the Balochistan situation won't be tackled accordingly and politically, then MQM will quit the government. And afterwards, General Pervez Musharraf, the President, and the Prime Minister talked to Arqaid Tariq Altaf Hussain in London for more than 1 hour, and they came up to a conclusion that, okay, they'll look into the matter and they'll try to resolve it amicably.
And the criticism of the operation in Balochistan is also spreading to allies of the general, like the former Baloch Prime Minister, Mir Zafarullah Jamali.
Yes, because promises have not been fulfilled. The constitution has not been honored. Whatever was promised has not been delivered. We want an equal treatment. We want to talk of equality. Yes, there must be equality all over, which Balochistan has been denied. We say, well, whatever the provinces should get, Balochistan doesn't get it. Naturally, these feelings do flare up. So don't give us a chance to do that. Why should we? If we get our rights properly, as treated with other provinces at par, I think this problem would not arise at all. I hope this comes to an end soon. The sooner the better. And God forbid if it doesn't, well then I would not be a very happy Balochistan living in such conditions. This would be difficult for us to digest.
Time and again, Islamabad has accused India of fueling the armed struggle in Balochistan. The charge led to a public spat between the two foreign officers ahead of the crucial third round of talks in the composite dialogue process in early 2006. Pakistan has also held the warlords of Afghanistan responsible for supporting Baloch insurgents. That evoked a strong denial from President Hamid Karzai himself.
There has been involvement of foreign countries in this, and the weapons are coming from Afghanistan because we have a large border with long border with Afghanistan. It's a porous border, and in Afghanistan there are a lot of weapons. Right from the Soviet invasion, the weapons have been there, and these are the weapons, and some others have been bought, and they have been sent to Balochistan, and they are being used by these tribals, and these tribal, the people who have established these Ferrari camps, they are paid people, and we know where the money is coming from.
The government has blamed India and Afghanistan for fueling militancy in Balochistan.
Well, I don't rule it out at all. I don't rule it out at all. Because even in the past Afghan governments, being in Balochistan, we have Afghanistan bordering us. And similarly, we have the Iran bordering us. And ultimately, when we travel, the passage is always open. So the whole point is that there have been problems before. And in my assessment, I think there are problems now also. This is how I would see it. Especially with the bringing in of Indian consulates right till Kandahar and Herat and all these places, which were never there before. What was the big idea? Why should they bring it now?
On the ground, Nawab Bukti has this proud retort.
हर वक्त ये कहता रहे, गफार खान को भी कहते थे कि कर रहा है, जील सईद को भी कहते थे कि उनको भी इंडिया कर रहा है, फलाना कर रहा है, गद्दार हैं. कुछ वक्त के बाद फिर तगमा लटकाते थे कि मुहिब वतन है, फिर वो तगमा वापस ले लेते थे कि नहीं फिर गद्दार हैं. तो ये होता रहता. तो हमारे से भी वही है कि बस हुकूमत का लाइन टो करो तो तुम मुहिब वतन हो, अपना इंडिपेंडेंट व्यू हो सबको, तो गद्दार है.
For a region that has now assumed such geostrategic importance, a lot is riding on Musharraf-led government's next move. Political observers warn that if Baloch concerns are not addressed soon, force may not be enough to silence their guns forever.
First of all, what is historically absolutely clear is that the Baloch cannot be defeated militarily. The terrain just makes that impossible as far as the Pakistan army is concerned. The army just does not have the resources and the ability to go into that terrain and physically defeat the Baloch.
But they are using helicopter gunships.
They use very sophisticated weapons in the 70s also. They have far more gunships now, but you cannot physically obliterate the Baloch in the mountains. You still have to use troops on the ground, and once those troops are on the ground, they face enormous hazards. I think the second most important thing is that there is clearly a lot of support for this movement from the Baloch diaspora, which is very large, in the Gulf states, in Abu Dhabi, in Afghanistan, in Iran, even in Britain and even in America. Now, this is a far bigger insurgency, far more widely spread, far better organized than anything we've seen in the past. There has always been in the last 50 years a very strong thread of independence, fact-minded people running through the Baloch movement. And I fear very much that this time, this thread is going to become the most dominant color of the movement. It's going to be a pro-independence movement rather than a pro-autonomy movement.
As the violence intensifies, it has become increasingly difficult for journalists to access conflict areas within Balochistan. Therefore, it has become much harder to assess the ground reality. While the lives of ordinary Baloch hinges upon the mood of decision makers, they are sandwiched, like in any other conflict area, between the crossfire.